Alright, hello and welcome back everyone here to the Summit 2. We're in the Chinese qualifiers, and of course the Summit 2 brought to you by G2A.com and 100TB. I'll be your host for the day, evening, morning, whatever time it may be where you are. I'm Helium, and the two teams that we're casting right now, a best of one between the new Team DK. We already saw them put up a pretty solid performance, looking for them to replicate. If Cold Snap is playing Clockwork, please land a hook. I need some hooks in my life right now, Clockwork. But very similar draft from them. They'll take out a Centaur, they'll take out a Sky and a Viper. But they will go with the Death Prophet Clockwork as the first two picks once again for DK. So we know what they're up to. They've already once stopped the Terrorblades. So we got LGDcdec. They will go Batrider, Naga, and Spectre. Those are their bans. They will pick up the man himself, Terrorblade, seeing play for the first time in Captain's Mode in 6.82. Even though 6.82B now, but Terrorblade there, and Ancient Apparition, that second pickup. We talked about the Chinese teams, they really like that Ancient Apparition. We've seen it banned out in every single game. Hell, one guy's name is, well, I guess that's Invoker's spell, but Cold Snap is pretty close to Cold Feet. Someone's even almost named after it. Ancient Apparition, though, second pick here for LGDcdec. DK is like, we ain't gonna fix it if it ain't broke. They got Wind Ranger third, very similar draft, so CDEC can definitely adjust their picks accordingly. I think it was... what else did they have that game? I don't know, dude. My memory is not very good. I think it would be better, but lots of Dota games have been cast in my lifetime, and they all kind of blur together. Doesn't matter if it was 10 minutes ago. But anyways, Wind Ranger picked up third for DK. Looks like they will try to replicate that draft, and looking for CDEC, their third pick. They're going to go with the biggest green. They got the Watermelon. Tidehunter picked up third there. Probably just going to be the offlaner. Again, it's on the Radiant. We already saw one of the teams on the Radiant just sort of rolling with the offlane. What was it? Puck, I believe, on the Radiant side. Get away with a little bit more. Tidehunter, he likes the Dire side. He likes to be able to stack the Ancients. That's not as easy anymore. It's not as accessible from the offlane, so it's still kind of hard, but still possible and still rather protected, so Tidehunter can maybe do that. But not going to matter. He's on the Radiant this time. He'll have a probably decent time in the offlane. Judging by what DK did with their last draft, they'll be running lanes in a 2-1-2 fashion, so two people in the safe, two people in the offlane, and just one in the middle. Or I guess really they could do two mid, one off, or one safe, or any variation thereof. But based on what we've seen, expect a 2-1-2 as Razor, Viper, the mech carriers banned from DK, taking out those. Well, Batrider is like the offlane hero, utility, positioning advantage hero that CDEC has banned out. But other than that, all really strong late game carries. Naga, Spectre, and Ember have all been taken out away from DK. But DK, I mean, seeing how fat their Death Prophet was in the last game, like, they don't have a problem winning in the late game with their Death Prophet. It's going to be up to LGDcdec to roam, rotate, and try to shut down this Death Prophet early on. Otherwise, we're going to see probably another incredible performance here from Feature. Still need to pick up Dreamy Use. He had a Morphling, that I remember, and XPG was Crystal Maiden. I remember the draft, guys. I did it! So, yeah, expect those two heroes. Got that one. Alright, so that says to me, like, if LGDcdec doesn't know what DK is drafting, I mean, that's as simple as, like, looking at their game history, or just going on Dota Buff, which maybe hasn't recorded it yet. Or not Dota Buff, but Dat Dota, or any of the Chinese stat sites, as I'm sure they have their own, and just looking at their last game. I'm sure some of them, or their manager, or team captain, even watched the previous game, so they know that the Morphling might be the last pick here. So they're probably going to ban it. But what this also tells us is DK thinks that the Crystal Maiden pick is more important than the Morph. So I'm curious if Morph gets banned, what they want to go for their last pick. And Crystal Maiden, once again, will be having to deal against the puck. So, similar fashion from what we saw last time. It's a little hard to get the kills with the CM. Obviously, Frostbite has been buffed. Freezing Field has been buffed. But there's not a lot of lockdown from a CM that puck can't just simply escape from.
Reserve time. Radiant team ban.
They'll ban out Rubik. The Rubik they felt was a little annoying with the Morph Steal, with the instant lifts. So we'll see if LGDcdec... I would expect a Morphling ban, but... that's me, so I guess we're just going to wait. We're going to sit in silence.
Remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Not a lot of time left.
Reserve time. Team DK's turn to pick. Radiant team pick.
I love his voice, dude. It's so good. Anti-Mage. Awesome. Well, the brothers from Warcraft 3 Dota, they're facing off against one another, and we've seen some teams still favoring the Anti-Mage over that of the Terrorblade, but let me tell you, if the lanes clash, the Reflection will take the current level of mana break, and that's really annoying, because it's an illusion that can easily just take away Anti-Mage's mana, and he won't be able to have that 60 mana for Blink in the laning phase. That's if they clash. If they don't clash, I honestly give Anti-Mage the upper hand in farming. Like, if he gets to a 13-minute Battle Fury, Terrorblade, his farming item is still going to be a Radiance, which is going to come up a couple minutes later if they're both getting free farm. So I like Anti-Mage. He can start that flash farming a little bit faster. He can reach his late game potential a little bit faster than Terrorblade. But Terrorblade, I would say on the flip side of that, really starts his split pushing a lot earlier than Anti-Mage probably will. So with that in mind, we'll see how it works out in the game. It's Dreamy U on the Anti-Mage, not a big surprise. And I believe it's XH there on the Terrorblade, scooping that one up. As always, player to watch, maybe on the puck. He loves this hero. He's fantastic with it. Sometimes he's a little too fantastic with it, if you know what I mean. But soon, we're going to hop in game here in just a moment. Twitch chat never makes me not laugh. So good. I love it. Alright, here we go into the game right now. Team DK, they're going to be on the Dire side, basically 1-for-1 in the terms of their lineup from what we saw. They will not pick up the Morph, so that's why it wasn't that important. They were trying to bait that ban, and then they just wanted to go with the Anti-Mage is what it looked like for this game. Maybe like that hero against the Terrorblade a bit more, even though Terrorblade was picked first in the last game, and they picked Morphling last. Whatever, or Morphling fourth, I think. But anyways, Dreamy U on the Anti-Mage. We'll just see what happens. We'll stop talking about the past. We got Black once again on the Wind Ranger. He'll be going into that off lane with Cold Snap on the Clockwork. Please land a hook. XBG playing the Crystal Maiden once more. And Feature in the middle lane on that Death Prophet or Feat. I'm unsure of what the name actually is. This is a very fresh lineup of DK, but I've been calling him Feature. Over on LGDcdec, we've got 3-3-3. Here in the Radiant offlane, he'll be playing on the Tidehunter. Swinging over on into the mid lane, we'll have LGDcdec's very own, maybe, as I just said, maybe the player to watch. No, definitely the player to watch. He should just change his name to Definitely. We got Garter on the Earthshaker. We've got XH playing on that Terrorblade. We'll get a little better look at him. Actually, we'll get a really good look at him. Oh, yeah. And then we're looking at the Iceman, the Ice Cream Cone. Ancient Apparition going to be played by Q, and, well, that's not going to be enough to lock him in place. Cold Snap, not Cold Feet. Now the Wind Ranger's going to get involved. This is the duo lane. It does not look like LGDcdec really knew what was going to come their way. Maybe they did, but they'll drop a Sentry Ward. Hoping to find a ward, I guess, here, or this is a pretty common spot to block the camp out, or either one of those three. But they won't find any of them. And who actually did get the rune there? That's important. Anti-Mage picked up the bounty. Ancient Apparition picked up the double. So the bounty is a little more, as you can see, starting with that 50 XP, and going to get in there. Good block here by the Tidehunter. Just kidding. This would have been a good block. I thought the creeps were right behind Anti-Mage, but not quite. And he's going to be in some trouble. Anti-Mage is actually a melee hero that I could see doing very well. This is, honestly, could be a first blood. We just have the mana break, and he's not going to want to go to the tower. But already, no clarities, And he's got one more Anchor Smash before he's fresh out of Anchor Smashes. Now to the bottom lane we go. Cole, the feet into the Fisher. It's not enough to bring down Black, and that is not the same Black as Vici Gaming, just keep in mind. I know there were rumors that Black might go to DK, so if some of you haven't been paying attention to the scene, it's not the same Black. But he is a solid player. He was a support Wind Ranger last game, rolling with like a 4-staff, a Blink, and a Sheep Stick. Like, dude knows what's up. Was able to find some farm, find some space, mainly due to the fantastic Death Prophet play from Feature. So, looking for that, but also looking for maybe to shut him down in their tracks, to let this Death Prophet know he's up against a better mid opponent, or something trash talk related. Maybe definitely wants to make his presence felt. Yeah, I see some of you in the chat complaining that Terrorblade might just build a Radiance again. I don't think Radiance is the best Terrorblade build. I like just going for actual damage items and like a Manta and the split push. Like, your illusions are really persistent and do a lot of damage, so I don't think you need the Radiance as much to farm and push as like a Naga might, or a PL. PL doesn't anymore. Oh my god, PL. He's actually a hero. Like, oh, if any StarCraft fans, I usually just like to spam Phantom Lancer greater than Protoss. He literally is charge lots, and it's ridiculous. It's so funny. It's really frustrating to play against, but it's hilarious when it's on your team. So I think I can actually work all three of my favorite games into this. We've already got StarCraft. We got Dota. Obviously, this is Dota. And if Black lands some of those power shots, we can get the little CSGO boom headshots up in here, as he can maybe get some pickoffs. So, the trifecta of amazing games. But we'll see what happens. Bottle... No, that's a salve actually being ferried out to maybe. And, well, since a while ago, you gotta buy your own regen. It's not a support that could have bought it and brought it out to him. So he spends a little bit of gold on that, which means Feature... This guy knows how to play. Getting a lot of damage in on this Puck. Puck, though, 6-1. 5-2 for Feature. Both of them farming pretty well. And I would expect them to both continue farming pretty well, as so far this duo lane of the Wind Ranger and the Clockwork has not been doing as much to slow down the Terrorblade as it was in the previous game with DK with the similar off lane. Here we go though, CDecs 3-3-3 in a little bit of trouble. As some more levels and the Frostbite come in, it'll be more difficult, but now Q is in not a good place right now. Cold Snap is not either. He locks in the Terrorblade, but he's going to be the first to fall. The power shot flies, barely even tickles XH. He will not get the kill. It actually goes over to Garter. That's the Earthshaker, and that was the last pick here for LGDcdec. So getting up to level 2. They're both fresh out of mana. They might retreat back to base. Then maybe rotate middle, as they should realize they're really going to need to shut down this Death Prophet. Oh, sorry, camera. Getting a little out of control there. Out of mana once more, and this is what I'm talking about. We generally, as casters, always talk about how good the Tidehunter is at shutting down other melee opponents. But right now, with the mana break, just taking away that mana, if you can't Anchor Smash, then Tidehunter doesn't have any of those capabilities. One last hit, Anti-Mage, 14-5, 16-5 now. Dreamy U's doing really, really well, and we already saw him last game. This guy knows how to hit creeps. He farmed exceptionally well on the Morphling in a pretty similar situation, going up against a Puck. And this is where the Radiant offlane's pretty nice. You got that pool camp. You can siphon some experience from it for 3-3-3, since those changes came around in 6.79. Feels like years ago at this point. Honestly, might have been about a year ago at this point. But yeah, he's already up to level 4, so not getting any CS, but he is getting some levels. And you look into the offlane where they are splitting experience on the side of DK. Clockwork, level 3, Wind Ranger about to hit level 4. So if we look at the experience graph, yeah, I would expect to see DK ahead. It was a similar story in the last game that we covered. Looking at gold, they're pretty far up on that as well. Just look at the farm of Anti-Mage and Death Prophet. 24 and then 17. They're way out front. Puck only at 11 right now. And that's maybe. That's a maybe Puck at 11. I think this Death Prophet knows something that other Death Prophets don't. Granted, Death Prophet's a good hero against the Puck. Like, at any point if Puck, his phase shift is used, like, you can easily catch him with another Crypt Swarming is a squishy little guy, or squishy little being. I don't know what it is. Kind of androgynous, but whatever. It's a word I learned. Critiquing my casting while doing it again. Been reading books recently. It's like something I started doing. Learned some words. What's up? Clockwork goes down to a neutral. Planned, obviously. He buys out his magic wand. Sacrifices himself to the rock golems. And gets a free trip back to base. Probably the most efficient way to do it. Respawn times are not very long at level 3. So he's back. Unfortunately, though, that still adds to the scoreboard, which is kind of annoying. So 2-0, I guess, is what we'll just call it to stay consistent, because we'll forget eventually that that happened. 5 minutes in, it's LGDcdec. Okay, I can't do it. LGDcdec with 1 kill, but they are trailing in the other categories right now. As Terrorblade has started to catch up in that CS. Puck is as well as he gets another creep wave, but it's still that anti-mage. No fun allowed as he's hitting the creeps. 36 and 7. Already got the Claymore as he works towards the Battle Fury, so if he goes naked Battle Fury, he can have this at like 10 minutes. And that's going to be terrifying. He can just get the jungle farm up. You can maybe transition the Wind Ranger to the top lane, or the Clock. Or if you want, just keep the Crystal Maiden there to start farming and, I don't know, get an item, get a Blink Dagger, Force Staff. You want to see an Urn on every team these days. It's so good right now, so someone can farm up an Urn pretty early. Uh-oh. Feature gets a little too aggressive. The coil thrown maybe wanted the kill. So he drops the coil. It's definitely worth it right there. That's going to be the second kill for LGDcdec. And it's double damage for the Clockwork. It was not a good attempt at my Clockwork voice. Kind of half-assed it. But he will scoop up the rune. The bounty's going to go over to Puck. Orange meet orange as he finds the bounty rune. Green. Oh, Cold Snap. He's got a double damage, but there's a lot of damage there for the Metamorphosis, but he's very, very squishy to magic resistance. The wand charges keep him up for a bit longer. XH will fall, and I think CDAD... No, the Shackle. No attack to follow up. 44 HP is what he lives with, and that double damage pays off. Oh, Earthshaker says no.
A shaken clock will soon stop ticking.
Actually, he says, a shaken clock will soon stop ticking. Sorry, Earthshaker. I didn't mean to misquote you. Because your quotes are a lot better than mine, as he will bring down the Clockwork as he tries to retreat. Thank you. Why do I even cast games? Like, we have an announcer pack, and the characters have voice lines. Like, what? Why am I even here? I don't know. But I am. So here we go. Anti-Mage is back up top again with the mana break. It goes 2-2-1, and probably will max Blink from here on out. I am eating books, yes. Alright, 3-3-3. Frostbitten. We do have 3 points in Blink right now. Dreamy You kind of low, 315 HP. The Tide percentage was a little lower, but actually still had more HP, so Anti-Mage will back off. He's not too concerned, and we go back to the middle lane where we see the very, very tail end of Puck dying. Death Prophet dying once more. Puck picking up another kill, 2-0, and well, this is going to stop the Death Prophet's progress. We're not going to see a Death Prophet get as big as we did in the previous game, and now 3-3-3 is in some trouble. Do we have Mana Break yet? No. That's another point. He's used his 6 spells, 6 skill points. Mana Break, 2 in Blink, 1 in Spell Shield, so maybe could have got it with Mana Void. Rank 1 Mana Void, though, it's not great. Tidehunter, though, even though he's a strength hero, you know, about 350 mana, it's pretty sizable. Don't think it would have been enough to kill, though. I mean, it wouldn't have, so it doesn't really matter. He would need rank 3 Mana Void to have got a kill with it there. Pretty underwhelming. On a hero like Puck, though, 650 mana, that's out of mana and it's at 200. That's an easy kill with any level of Mana Break. But we'll definitely want to get it. See some people complaining about praising the Death Prophet. If you watched the last game, like, you would understand. It was crazy. But whatever. I've been praising Puck too. Come on, come on. As maybe he gets another one, he might find even a double kill here. He's already taken down the Clockwork, but Black is going to go ahead and throw in the recently buffed Wind Run, so it will dodge projectiles that were already in flight as he gets away safely. But the Clockwork to fall there in the bottom lane, it's really 5-2. As, oh wow, Death Prophet actually diving very, very far. We'll bring down the Ancient Apparition. Guy stands No chance against the Exorcism. Ravage online, Tidehunter, but basically one more slice of the blade and he won't have enough mana to use it. Slice or two.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Death Prophet, though, trying to get the tower pushing in. Does go for a point a level earlier in the Exorcism this time. Last time went 404 and got Exorcism at level 9. This time not bothering about it. Does go for the maximum damage output, though. 4 points in Witchcraft, 3 in Crypt Swarm. That's where you want to be on a Death Prophet. Slightly more efficient. Sometimes there's reasons to max the Crypt, though. Like maybe against Ember or something to get the Flame Guard off. Like just the actual bigger damage is going to be better, but most of the time the Witchcraft is good. Gives you that movement speed, as that's where you get the movement speed on Death Prophet. Mana cost reduction, and makes your ultimate Exorcism a lot better, so... XH going to be shackled up to the tree here. He's got a lot of armor. He barely takes any damage at all from these right clicks and from the Wind Ranger, but no one there to follow up. No hook yet for Cold Snap to miss. Shots fired. But he'll get there. Dreamy using a lot of trouble. Maybe he's here. There's the Ravage going out. It will be enough to kill him. So LGDcdec doing enough with their rotations, and now Puck going to get involved in the rotation. Will be able to pick off the Anti-Mage. They've killed the Death Prophet twice, the Anti-Mage once, and that's exactly what they need to be doing. Anti-Mage's farm, though, at 11 minutes, still way out front. 73, Death Prophet 59, Wind Ranger 46, and that's your top 3 farming. Looking at net worth, we will actually find the Puck with a dominating spree right now, 4-0, 48 CS. He's on top of the net worth at 4.9k. But then the Tricore for DK, the Anti-Mage, 4.6, the Death Prophet, 4.3, and the Wind Ranger taking farming priority, even though having bought the wards in the early game, takes the farming priority over the Clockwork, 3.4k, basically neck and neck with that of the Terrorblade, who with an Aquila and a Quelling Blade has moved on into the jungle and looks to be farming up some camps here. Going to give that bottom experience and some farm to an Earthshaker, who's already level 7 at just under 12 minutes, doing pretty good for himself, and actually everyone already level 6, so good timing on that for everyone. And now we've got that hook online. Cold Snap wrapping around the back of middle on the upper side, looking to get the hook onto maybe. We'll find the Bounty Rune, and Puck will find the regen.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And rotate bottom, which means Black could be in some trouble. He's aware of this. Well, they don't really have a ward in the vicinity. They've only got this ward spotting up anything in middle, but he's got the sense to realize, you know, features probably called out, the Puck is missing, so he'll back up. They weren't sure what rune he got, as it is the Radiant with the wards for the bottom side of the river, and actually down enough to spot the rune. DK have opted to put their other ward in the lane up here up top to protect that Anti-Mage a little bit more from the TPs in. But here we go, middle lane, features in some trouble, trying to push the tower with Exorcism, Ice Blast to the face, the Dream Coil to break, and the damage is enough. Puck picking up the kill there once again, maybe will get him, and he's on a mega kill streak, 5-0 at the moment. 1000 XP for him, 2 ults, Dream Coil, Ice Blast, and it's enough. Actually, no, I took Chip Muckle, aka Pip Muckle's advice, and I condensed the information reported. So I think it's just going to go for big item usage and big spells that are dropped. So a little less cluttered, a little easier to look at. We don't really care if Shackle Shot was used twice in a fight. Well, maybe we do on that one. Bad example. But here we go in the bottom lane. Ice Blast going to go out once more. This time it's onto Black. He will die. He's going to shatter, and actually Terrorblade maybe picking up the last hit there. And we'll see Ice Blast probably on that recap once more. Yeah, just going for the ultimates. We don't really need to know that Reflection was used. We can see that for the most part. But there you go. All towers standing except for this one. Death Prophet in that lane pushes it down. Gives up his own life to do it, and sorry, I switched back to last hits. Death Prophet still second in net worth for his team, 3rd overall, despite being picked off a few times here by Maybe, who's still out front overall. Now, well, we got XH trying to get in range for the Reflection to slow him down, but will not be able to. The cogs on the top of the hill will allow him to get back to safety. Going for the Shackle off the creep. It does not land onto Maybe. It would have been amazing if it happened that way, but it doesn't. Maybe will live, and he will back off, expecting a lot of traffic in the middle lane from DK, so just going to head out until, well, now he's got allies. Garter going in once again. Fantastic. Look at this combination. We always talk about Earthshaker and Skywrath, but wow. Once you get up to level 6, this Earthshaker Ancient Apparition combo is pretty sick. And they're using it to great effect here. They're going to get their Puck another kill. Maybe. I told you this guy was definitely the person to watch. 6-0 already. But the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Especially true now in the meta of the comeback. And here we go. CDec trying to get on the board in terms of tower kills in the middle lane. The Fortifier will go out, of course, as it just gets refreshed. So no big deal there, regardless of whether they defend it or not. They might try to go for the deny clockwork. Thinking about it, maybe holding his last hits. Will get the hit on the tower and accelerating himself about 1,000 gold ahead of the anti-mage, who has already got that Battle Fury, by the way. The timing, it certainly must have been 12 or 13 minutes. He's got the treads up now, whether before or after. He's got them both, and he's farming up a storm. Trying to say he's about 1,000 gold ahead of the Terrorblade, who has been in the jungle and now will go back over to the lane without the ability to really farm it up. He will be going for a Radiance, so this is what I talked about. Anti-Mage gets his Battle Fury up probably 5 to 8 minutes, just kind of picking numbers at random, honestly, but 5 to 8 minutes before. Those are the numbers that feel right. And then we'll finish the point. 5 to 8 minutes before that of the Radiance on Terrorblade. So his flash farming doesn't kick in. And we noted it in the last game with the Terrorblade. Like, his gold per minute, like the acceleration of his gold income isn't that substantial over a 10-minute time period. It went up like 30. So, I don't know. It's obviously a good flash farming item. It makes it a lot easier to just push out the lanes and probably get the last hits for it as well with your illusions. But I don't know. I don't think it's the best item for Terrorblade here, but obviously it's what the Chinese teams like doing. But I have seen reports, at least the Western opinion, is that the Chinese teams are playing Terrorblade wrong. I don't know how accurate that really is, as he hasn't seen much play, really, so it's hard to really say what's right or wrong. But we got a big team fight breaking out here. The Ravage from 3-3-3's Tide is going to be what pretty much seals the deal. DK lose 3 in the midst of it, but maybe went down. He gave up a big streak and a big bounty. Well, not really, actually. CDec were barely ahead at that point. He gave up a decent XP bounty because they had a 2k lead there, but overall, what a fantastic team fight. 1 for 3, and, well, most ultimates used. Terrorblade's Sunder was not one of them. Not a great team fight ultimate, but it's definitely a playmaker. But the 4 big ultimates used, Hook and an Exorcism there for DK. And they do have a mech up online. You can see that's there on black, the Wind Ranger, taking a similar item progression as he did in the previous DK game. The mech, he'll probably go for the Force Staff, I think he went next, and then Chief Stick, and then a Blink or something like that. Can't quite remember the specifics. God, the Terrorblade attacking noise is like actually really annoying. Dude, Garter is playing really well. 2-0 and 8 on this support. He's got the Blink Dagger. He just finishes it up there at 18 minutes. So really, really well done. The Bounty Quicker Picker Upper maybe scoops up the Bounty Rune. And we'll be looking for a pick-off here. He heads into enemy territory. Maybe not. They might keep their sights focused on the towers. Focused on the objectives. You don't want to be distracted by the beautiful celebrities. You got to keep your eyes on the prize.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Tower in the bot lane. Fortify goes out, of course. We already talked about it. Early point in Focus Fire. You might think, what do you mean? You could have rank 2. But a lot of people will just max everything before even getting it. I think, yeah, getting rank 1 at 11 and rank 2 at 12 is pretty solid. Leaving 2 in the Wind Run. Most Windrunners, or Wind Rangers, excuse me, are maxing the Shackle Shot. I could see 2-4-4 as a possibility for the first 3 skills as well, but not what they've opted for in the last couple games. I saw God from Virtus Pro take a very similar build to that of this Wind Ranger, and well, XH in the bottom lane in some trouble. They find the real one. He's got a lot of armor, but it's not enough to sustain a power shot and an exorcism. They will bring him down. That's a big pick-off. That's his second death.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
chilling. Got their blink daggers up right now, looking cool, talking about it. Like, hey man, when'd you get your first blink dagger? Like, oh, I got mine at like 13 minutes. And then Earthshaker's like, I got 18, but I didn't have farm priorities, so. What's up, Tide? What's up? Who's else gonna do more damage this game? Well, Ravage is more reliable, but obviously Echo Slam has the potential to do more damage. As a third party, I'll settle their dispute between teammates. We need them to get along if they're gonna take this game against DK. Well, maybe we don't, because they're actually doing quite well anyways. 13 and 5 right now. We see them leading equilibrium. The farm on DK is substantially better, which is what's keeping them in this game. And they've also got 2 towers. They've lost actually 3. So even being down a tower, they're barely behind in gold, and XP is basically even. So that's got to come down to the farm just being better. And it's, yeah, even the XP. Oh, let's keep in mind it's actually only 12 kills, as one of those was Ancients killing Clockwork and he lost no gold. So about a 7 kill advantage then. And you can see DK farming up a storm. Anti-Mage now pulling out ahead of the puck as his flash farming is truly online. He's already got the Yasha and 1800 gold. Before I feel like I've even blinked, we look back at Dreamy U and he's almost completed his next big item at just 20 minutes. So he's looking to get to the late game quickly. We've got Terrorblade. Alright, so he was saving up a pretty big amount of money. But he doesn't go for the Radiance, and I'm very glad that he doesn't. He goes S and Y. He could split that later and get the Manta. That's probably what he will do. But now with an Ogre Club in the stash, you'd expect him to go BKB with that. Some more magic immunity. As that's what he lacks, right? He lacks HP, and he takes a lot of magic damage as a result. So, physical damage not as big. I mean, look at his armor already. It's at 19. He's pretty set. 53% physical damage resistance, only 25 magic, as that's, you know, pretty much what most heroes are rolling with. We do have a cloak on Tide, so he'll be working towards the pipe, and that's going to help out the Terrorblade and the Terrorblade illusions. So those big AoE aura items like pipe, like mech, Crimson Guard, very, very good if you've got an illusion hero on your team. Very good anyways. Here we go. Exorcism and Anti-Mage into the Roche Pit. It looks like LGDcdec are maybe aware of this or just wanting to smoke up at the same time. Clockwork to scout it out from the lane. They will find Crystal Maiden. She is the bait right now. They kill Crystal Maiden, but the rest of DK, well, actually just 2 other members of DK will take down the Roche. That's definitely worth the trade there, just giving up to Crystal Maiden. If you're not dying on Crystal Maiden, you're playing like a pansy, I think is a good way to put it. Just, I don't know. The hero's got the propensity to feed. It just happens. It's really no one's fault. Or at least that's how I like to think about it.
'Tis mine.
'Tis mine. Wait, what? Oh, the bounty rune. I'm like, why do I hear Anti-Mage when Terrorblade is killing things? Makes sense. He's close. He's almost got the BKB. The one downside of a BKB, though, on illusion heroes, is they immediately know who you are. Like, you no longer have the mystery of, like, which Terrorblade is real. Like, the Terrorblade that is massive, possibly yelling for Cosmo Dawn, and yellow is probably the one with the BKB. But here we go, maybe gonna drop a Dream Coil, looking for the supports, and the Ice Blast is coming in along with the Ravage. There's a lot used just to get the poor Crystal Maiden, but maybe with the Orb we'll find Cold Snap and Garter. Oh, there it goes. He lets off the Echo Slam. Lets it ring. Base and tremble, says Garter. Actually, maybe Earthshaker will just complete it for us again. I think he already chuckled, so I think we've missed the moment, but there you go, teamfight recap, I guess. I don't really want to get in the habit of always having to pull that up like we fully rely on it or something, but I don't know, it seems like the chat wants to see it. 4 ultimates used, no Sunder. I don't even think Sunder has been used this game, and that gets me back to the point of a BKB on Terrorblade. So, it's not great on illusion heroes in general for the aforementioned reasons, but it is really good on Terrorblade because it guarantees with the Sunder cast point of like 0.3 seconds that he will actually be able to get off Sunder and can really, really extend the team fight. And don't forget, you can Sunder your own illusions if they're still at full HP. You can Sunder your allies, like if, I don't know, Ancient Apparition has used Ice Blast and Chilling Touch. What more is he really? So just kill him, get your HP back. Also, you can use it on enemies, which is obviously the most advantageous, but sometimes the harder thing to do. And the BKB is done, so we'll see if XH can put that to use in the ways we mentioned. As Anti-Mage is here, he's ready to start pushing. Manta style being delivered. He's got an Aegis. And he's trying to work on the tier 2 here. All tier 1s for both teams have fallen at this point of the game. DK have lost their middle tier 2 already. As people TPing in, looking to defend. Airblade putting himself out there on the front lines, looking to use that new fancy BKB. The Manta style delivered. There it is. The illusions are going to go to work on the tower, but you got more illusions into the fray right now. Oh, well, doesn't matter. Echo Slam on cooldown still, as it did kill Cold Snap. Cogs to be dropped. They're trying to chase through. He did use the BKB. Metamorphosed BKB. Threw out a reflection, but wasn't able to get enough. As Exorcism just about to run out, but it's not stopping Feature from going in. Oh, the Shackle will connect onto the Tide. He'll cracking out of it. But the big deal is that it had Terrorblade on the other side of the Shackle, and he will fall after using that BKB. No buyback. Ice Blast hurts. Ice is not always nice, as Crystal Maiden might remind you, but the tier 2 tower will fall. They got the Terrorblade and the tower. That's what they came for. They know there is still a Ravage, but if you can get a couple more hits, there won't be mana for it. And then maybe with that, they can start breaking the high ground a little earlier than normal than what you see, I guess, these days. BKB used, and you can see Death Prophet also threw out her BKB as well. But it allows DK to get some big kills and get some map control as well. Definitely a good trade, as now you see them leading a little over 3,000 gold and about 3,000 experience. That's not very large at 26 minutes, but it's still quite good. And now they actually have a 1 tower advantage on the side of DK. Only the middle tier 2 tower remains for LGDcdec, as maybe on the Puck, one of his more standard builds, he will go for the Treads, the Blink, and the Sheep. Normally when maybe he's on Puck, and honestly this game he was 6-0 and 5, they're not playing teams that are quite the caliber of DK, and I realize it's not the same DK roster, but these guys are still looking really promising, so maybe he's I guess being a little bit more serious here. He does not have a Dagon 5, as he might normally be going for. Also a different patch. Haven't cast LGDcdec in 6.82 yet. Looks like the Pipe is going to get put on hold. Cloak into the stash. Plate Mail into the inventory of 333 is most likely looking for the Shiva's Guard, is pretty much what the Tides like to go for. And you can see, as an offlaner, picks up a bottle this game, and he will go Treads instead. Just be a little bit tankier. Doesn't go for the mana boots, makes up for it by going for the bottle. Mana boots can be a double-edged sword, because it's a big boost to your base mana pool, which is a big boost to the damage of Anti-Mage's Mana Void. So that could maybe be a consideration. He looks for the bottle as a source of regen instead of the mana boots, which would also increase his mana. But who knows? His reasoning also could be Treads and Bottle is great for controlling the runes that will always spawn top now. Whether it be a proper rune or just a bounty, either way it'll refill the bottle. Maybe trying to push out the top. Let's keep tabs on this Anti-Mage. Where is he at right now? Looking to take out some Ancients that aren't quite there. He actually blocked it. Whoops.
Is under attack.
Well, inopportune moment to check in on the Anti-Mage as he goofs. He pings it thinking it's warded, but they did increase the, I don't exactly know where, but they did increase the box, because when the patch first launched, you could stack the Dire Ancients like upwards of 10 times because the spawn box was so small, but Black's in some trouble. Cold Snap as well, they're there, the cogs go out, Fisher gonna catch them both nicely. But they use the buddy system, they'll get out of there alive. Ice Blast gonna land in there, onto the Crystal Maiden, Anti-Mage blinks out, the reflection to chase, that thing is so annoying. But here's Terrorblade, Metamorphosis, that's gonna force the BKB out here, trying to bring him down. There's the Sunder though, that's what you gotta be worried about. You can get it off with the BKB, getting out of that silence, and he will bring down the Death Prophet. Doesn't matter how tanky you are, if Terrorblade is low, you're at risk of dying a quick death. And the teamfight recap, Sunder, I think one of the first of the game, BKB and the new Sheepstick from Puck being thrown out there, and another BKB from Feature also used. 2,000 XP is the change, and about 1,200 gold in favor of LGD, probably bringing that back to equilibrium now. So 29 minutes into the game, and, well, basically where we started at equilibrium, but the heroes aren't. The heroes have plenty of items, and we could check some of those out right now. We got the Manta, the Battle Fury, and Looking at his current income, oh, he must have just bought something else. Got a full BKB coming out to that anti-mage as well, so that's where he's situated in items. Looking at the Wind Ranger, Mech, Force Staff, working towards the Sheepstick of her own with the Ultimate Orb. Crystal Maiden, just Crystal Maiden things. She's got a Force Staff and the Tranquil Boots, which honestly should be made of ice, because I feel like Lich and Crystal Maiden, the only heroes who buy them. Oh! Garter coming in. Goodbye. Goodbye, Wind Ranger. Alright, now looking at the Clockwork, Force Staff Treads, maybe going for that Urn. I don't see one yet. And there's Feature, not having the same type of game as he did last time, but is going for the same build. Phase, Yules, BKB, working for the Heart now with that Vit Booster in his inventory. And now Decisive, going for the Arcane Boots, another hero made of ice. Does he have Tranquil Boots? That's interesting. Honestly, they should be made of ice. 333, Tidehunter, going for what was maybe a pipe, but he changes his mind. He will be going for a plate mail now as Dreamy finds maybe and will run away. And I really want to finish the items. A pair of Force Staffs. No, BKB on the Terrorblade with the S and Y. And there we go. Dreamy's in some danger. Another nice Ice Blast and a Ravage. And they will get a good pick off there. Still way out front in net worth. Like 5,000 ahead almost in net worth, so that's a big pick off. And we'll look at the gold difference, the change, about 1,100, 2,100 experience. And now that the Sheepstick is online on the Puck, which I think was the last hero we needed to go over. Puck, Sheepstick, Blink Dagger, 2,600 in the bank. So we'll see. I would guess he wants to go Yules, maybe Lincoln Sphere, or honestly maybe a BKB, just to stop the mana drain from the anti-mage. Alright, I hate to break it to you, Twitch chat. Mushi, not in the game. Nor Ice. I know you guys are kidding, but some of you might be being fooled, and I'd like to make it apparent. The only previous member still involved with DK is, I believe, Lanham, the coach, so also not playing. Which is unfortunate. That lineup was amazing. It was like one of my favorite teams, for sure. Got that new ward going on. Yeah. Roche alive once more. And LGD is starting to pull ahead and making a lot better use of the Terrorblade. Having not gone Radiance, he's actually able to fight. You still see him die like pretty quickly, but actually this guy's terrifying. Let's get a closer look. Oh. It's like a really weird creature. His walk is also pretty funny. He's like such a perfect humanoid, but like looks nothing like a human, and it's really weird. Oh, I'll take that, Mud Golems. Get owned! That's pretty fun. Oh. Come on, kill some more stuff. Don't worry, guys. I got my eye on the mini-map. If I'm making you nauseous, I'm sorry. Go farm those creeps. We see actually DK smoking up, so we'll get back there in a second. But just, you know, it's experience day in the life of Terrorblade right now. There we go. Alright, this is going to be an engagement right here. LGDcdec is smoked up as well. Dreamy using the Roche Pit, trying to get a kill here. The Ice Blast was a little canceled out there. Couldn't launch it. Does finally launch it, but I don't think it's going to be hitting anybody. And there's the Echo Slam from Garter coming in, trying to land on Cold Snap. Will bring him down, but he's not going to live much longer for this either. And alright, Anti-Mage is going to start to get involved right now as Puck trying to get away. Looks like that might secure the Roshan. Dreamy's going to go back in. He's got the lifesteal, and with the Vladimir's offering that he does pick up as his next item, it's a cheap one, but it's still going to be great. And the lifesteal is also pretty nice. Keeps him at a decent HP while jungling, and has mana regen as well. They have the Exorcism to use, if they want to use it here. There's no Earthshaker, that was a big part of their team fight. We're going to keep our eyes locked on 333 as he blinks in. Ravage onto 2. He gets him Anchor Smash on both, reducing the damage. That's going to be the Wind Ranger to fall first. Dreamy wants to get involved now. Did not finish off the Roche. Gets caught with the coil and an Ice Blast. No HP regen there. No lifesteal from the Vlads. And 4v4, it's LGDcdec have been winning the fights and will continue to do so at the Roshan pit. And they're going to get in there, get the Roche. They'll hand it over to the Puck. It's a 3-0. With only a Ravage and a Dream Coil having to be used from LGD. Ice Blast obviously was too, but doesn't get reported for some reason. I see Chipmuckle not helping with the misinformation. Don't believe the caster's lies. I mean, I would recommend that, right? Like, if I had lies, I would recommend to not believe them, but...
Tower is under attack. Dire structures are fortified.
Alright, tower in the middle lane going down here. The Fortify will go out. Will not be refreshed, but there's no buyback on Anti-Mage. There's no buyback on Death Prophet, so the tier 3 falls. Now, working on the melee barracks. Not a problem at all, says the Metamorphosis Illusions. In a barbershop sort of quartet voice, even though there's like 7 of them right now, but imagine that, and they will take out the Rax. Another high cliff. So many high cliffs now in Dota. We have to really get, we'll have to number them. High cliff 1, 2, 3, I don't count these, 4, 5, kind of 6? I don't know. Very important though. We really need to dial that in. Alright, there's smoke up on the side of DK. They want to get something done here. Terrorblade Illusions pushing the tower. If they were Metamorphosis Illusions, that tower would have been dead already. And is! Alright, we'll go down. Good job. Siege creep that maybe didn't do it, but tower will fall. It is not denied, and they kind of show where they are right now as they look to try to deny the tower and get some of the creeps out of the way. Really hard to push right now is, I mean, look at the lanes. They all need maintained on the side of DK. There's Terrorblade pushing it out to here. You got this one, like, right in enemy territory. Obviously, they just took the tower, but lane is here and pushing out forward as Earthshaker says hello. So hard to smoke gank when, well, if you're not seen on the map and LGDcdec controls 80% of the map, like, they're either in their base doing nothing or they're smoke ganking you. So it's not very hard for LG to figure out where DK is right now. You section them off to, again, 20% of the map. They can only be in there, so it's like kind of obvious. You can just figure it out from the way the game is going, and the fact that if people are missing or were in the lane and then suddenly missing, you know that something's up. Or if you only see one person, you can easily suspect that the rest of DK is probably smoked up next to them or running a little bit behind them in the shadows, also possibly smoked, but I don't know. We saw how easy that mid-rax fell. House of Cards. Also a good show. Two minutes on the Aegis right now. On maybe. Got a haste rune. He's ready to go, man. He's ready to go for the Hail Mary plays right now, diving into enemy territory if he needs to. He's got the haste, the Aegis. Actually went for an Ags. Wow, that's pretty cool, actually. Cold Snap's going to start things off with a hook outside the base. If I can only find him. There he is. Puck's going to get him, and he will go down very, very quickly. No buyback available. That seemed a bit reckless to fight outside the base. Now Garter's going to come in with an Echo Slam. Not on too many. Puck needs to drop that coil. Actually, he already did. There he does catch the feature in the BKB. He's got the Ags upgrade. It pierces spell immunity. So, cool item pickup there. The first time I've seen a Puck Ags in competitive play in my entire casting career. So, that's actually pretty big. Obviously it got buffed, so that's why we see it, but the GG will come out from DK. They try to replicate the success they had against, was it Speed Gaming, I believe, that they were playing, and it doesn't work out here. It wasn't bad by any means, but LGDcdec knew what they were doing. They itemized the Terrorblade differently. They played it a little bit differently, and I would be willing to say more correctly than going for the Radiance. So I like to see that, but we've got some more games coming up. This is LGDcdec taking the victory over DK, who for the day have, I believe, gone 1-1. I don't know what the first 2 games of the day were, but we've got, I believe, 2 more coming up. Schedule will be on your screen after we get through the amazing BTS outro. But either way, it's the Summit 2 here, the Chinese qualifier, is brought to you by G2A.com. Make sure to check them out. And as always, follow at Beyond the Summit for all updates. And of course, if you'd like, want to let me know what you thought of the casting or you liked me, you can give me a follow there in the upper right-hand corner at Heliumbrella. We'll be back. Stay tuned.